Part 38. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 371. Xiaoping'an followed the path found by the god of fortune boy and quickly passed through the pine forest, while constantly testing the weakness of the black strange insect. In addition to the blinding technique just now, Xiaoping'an also released a lightning bolt at the strange insect, threw a fireball, cast a cup bow snake shadow technique that can disrupt the enemy's mind, and even summoned the three-talent whip. He whipped the black monster. The black strange insect was fiddled with by Xiaoping'an until it almost went crazy. It kept roaring and chased after Xiaoping'an. It was during this kind of testing that Xiaoping'an finally discovered something and figured out a way to deal with the strange black insect. The black monster is not completely invincible and immune to spell attacks. Spells like the snake shadow, just like the blinding spell, can indeed affect the black monster and temporarily interfere with the black monster. Like fireball and lightning, when the strange insect was bombarded with magic, the strange insect seemed to be fine, but Xiaoping'an discovered that the black energy surging on the strange insect would decrease after being bombarded by the spell. In addition, Xiaoping'an also discovered that the IQ of the black strange insect was not very high, and was probably similar to that of a wild beast. Xiaoping'an changed his route 3 times in a row and performed fake moves on the way, but in the end he killed the strange insect. He was fooled into being stunned, and was distanced by Xiaoping'an 3 times in a row. The strange insect lacked enough predictability of his actions and didn't have much strategy. It just relied on instinct to pursue him. The thick carapace on the monster insect can resist most physical attacks, and the black mist surging on the monster insect can defend against magic bombardment, but the magic bombardment will also consume the black mist on the monster insect. Fog. So, if you want to kill this strange insect, it seems that the only feasible way at present is to first consume the black mist on the strange insect, and then use magic to kill it. Xiaoping'an thought this, but the god of fortune boy had already led Xiaoping'an through the pine forest and suddenly appeared outside the pine forest. The god of fortune boy led the way, and no other strange insects were encountered along the way. As soon as he rushed out of the pine forest, what appeared in front of Xiaoping'an was a canyon among the mountains. The entrance to the canyon was quite spacious, dozens of meters long. There were rugged rocks in the canyon, a small stream, and the fog in the entire canyon was even thicker. It's thick, and the farther you rush into the canyon, the narrower the canyon becomes. Seeing the black strange insect rushing into the canyon with him, Xiaoping'an's heart moved. Could this be the battlefield that the god of fortune boy was looking for him? The strange insect chased after him, but because of its huge size, the farther it entered the canyon, the more the strange insect's movements were affected. From time to time, it rubbed against the rocks and mountain walls on both sides of the canyon, and its speed suddenly slowed down. Finally, Xiaoping'an heard the strange scream of the black monster behind him, and rocks splashed from behind. When Xiaoping'an turned around, he saw that the black monster had just been stuck by 2 boulders. It waved its 2 forelimbs angrily and smashed the boulder holding it. It's now. Xiaoping'an, who had been escaping for a long time, finally turned around, flew towards the strange insect, and directly summoned 2 spells that he had been preparing for a long time. A crisp bird cry that resounded for 9 days appeared behind Xiaoping'an, and a pair of dazzling burning flame wings slowly spread out from behind Xiaoping'an. Behind the wings, there was the slender and powerful man standing in the void. The legs in the center are the proud and strong neck, like the head of a divine bird with a flaming crown, and the cold and ruthless eyes of that divine bird that are indifferent to everything and yet burn everything. As soon as the burning sky Suzaku was summoned, the rocks near the black giant insect opposite Xiaoping'an suddenly began to soften under the high temperature. Besides the burning sky vermilion bird, there was also a large black thundercloud flashing with lightning under the burning sky vermilion bird's flame-like wings. The burning sky vermilion bird suddenly pounced on the black strange insect. The entire body of the black strange insect burned violently, as if in a furnace. The surrounding stones suddenly turned into magma and flowed down. Then, the thundercloud shrouded it. On the body of the black monster, streaks of lightning struck directly on the body of the black monster. The sizzling lightning wrapped the burning body of the monster and turned into a huge fireball. The burning sky Suzaku with 720 points of divine power. Plus 720 points of Wu Yi Shenlei. The 1440 point divine power summoning spell was released instantly, and the black strange insect finally screamed. Under Xiaoping's gaze, he saw that the black mist surging on the black strange insect was quickly consumed under the flames and electric light. Originally, the black mist on the black strange insect was still a little thick, but between these two under the bombardment of this powerful spell, the black mist was thinning little by little, and the protection of the black strange insect was weakening. By the time these two spells ended, the black mist on the strange insect had already thinned by more than half. The black strange insect finally felt a hint of fear. It seemed that it did not expect that Xiaoping's technique was so powerful. The black strange insect wanted to retreat, but its body was stuck in the mountain wall and it wanted to turn around. There are some difficulties and you can only go back. How could Xiaoping allow the black strange insect to escape at this time? The monster had just taken a few steps back when Xiaoping had already rushed forward. Without saying a word, he gritted his teeth and summoned another burning sky Suzaku with 720 points of divine power. The sky-burning Suzaku flying in the sky and the strange insect finally merged into one again. Soon, the surging black mist on the strange insect was completely consumed by the flames of the burning sky Suzaku, and the entire body of the strange insect began to burn. The strange insect screamed, fought desperately, and tried to escape and retreat. But they couldn't stop the sky-burning Suzaku's flames. Xiaopingen looked at the strange insect, like a lit firewood, finally melting away bit by bit in the light of the burning sky Suzaku. When the flames of the burning sky vermilion bird disappeared, hot air was billowing everywhere in the valley. The burned stones on the ground flowed into the stream, and large amounts of hot air rose up. 4/5 of the strange insect's body was completely reduced to ashes, with only some blackened ashes remaining. The remaining 1/5 was the strange insect's tail, with a small section remaining outside the range of the flames. Came down, but was already burnt black. Among the pile of blackened ashes, there was a glimmer of light, which suddenly attracted Xiaopingen's attention. Xiaopingen walked over and swept through the ashes. From the ashes, he found a world bead and a black crystal that was as long as one finger. Picking up the boundary bead, I found 4 small seal characters on it, a last-ditch battle. And that black crystal is as long as one finger and is in the shape of a rhombus. As soon as you hold it, you can feel the surging divine power in the crystal. Golden Summoner. Author, Z.Y. Hu. Chapter 372. A Last Stand? Xiaopingen had fused this world bead long ago. The effect of this world bead was used on the summoned warriors, allowing the summoned warriors to explode with greater lethality during battle. Although it has been fused with the boundary pearl, it is still better than nothing. As for the black crystal, Xiaopingen didn't know what it was. He could feel the surging divine power in it, but the divine power in the black crystal seemed a bit strange and a little manic, unlike what he could freely mobilize in the secret mandala. The divine power used is somewhat different. Not knowing what this black crystal was used for, Xiaopingen put away the 2 war trophies, looked at the valley in front of him, turned around, and left quickly. Xiaopingen used the illusion of beacon fire to play with the princes, covering his figure and allowing himself to move quickly in the narrow valley gaps. At the same time, he took out the pills in the space warehouse to quickly replenish himself with divine power. In order to kill that black monster, Xiaopingen has consumed more than 3,000 points of divine power. At this moment, he only has 2,688 points of divine power in his secret mandala. If another monster like that comes, it will be difficult to deal with this amount of divine power. So a little bit of divine power must be added. Fortunately, Xiaoping'an was well prepared when he left Shangjing City. The divine power pills he has prepared in his current space equipment are very sufficient. There are many second grade, third grade, and even fourth grade divine pills in his space warehouse that can be replenished. His divine power exceeds 150,000 points, and he can still use elixirs to support him for a while. A first grade divine power pill can replenish 50 points of divine power, a second grade pill can replenish 100 points, a third grade divine power pill can replenish divine power to 300 points, and a fourth grade pill can replenish 500 points of divine power. After swallowing 6 fourth grade divine power pills, Xiaoping'an's secret and frank divine power quickly increased by 3,000 points and returned to 5,688 points. It's just that Xiaoping'an was not happy at all, but immediately felt the huge pressure to survive in the god-killing insect world. At his current consumption rate, even if the divine power pill in his space warehouse can provide more than 150,000 points of divine power, an ordinary black monster consumes almost 3,000 points of his divine power, which means that all of the maximum number of strange insects in the 6 yang realm that the magic pills can handle together is more than 50. More than 50 black strange insects from the 6 yang realm might be considered a lot if placed in other places, but in this world, they are nothing at all, because the most indispensable thing in this world is these strange insects. This is only for those in the 6 yang realm. If you encounter those in the 7 yang realm or even the 8 yang realm, wouldn't it be even more dangerous? No, the other summoners who came here must have other ways to deal with the strange insects. Although he had killed the strange insects just now, he consumed too much divine power. Based on this consumption, even if he is in the 7 yang realm and the 8 yang realm when summoners come to this world, they cannot deal with a few monster insects at a time. The consumption of each person's divine power is a huge problem. High-level summoners must have mastered some secret techniques or methods that can kill them with less divine power. These bugs. Xiaoping'an thought secretly while flying away. Mr. Jing said that the summoner's secret mandala in the Liu Yang realm will undergo major changes. Perhaps that change is the key to surviving in this world. The most important thing is to get the boundary pearl quickly to increase your strength to the 6 yang realm. However, to get the boundary pearl, you have to fight and consume a lot of divine power. Whether your own divine power pill can support it is a question. I didn't do enough homework before coming here, and I was a little hasty. Apart from the few words about the world of god-killing insects that I learned from Jing Lao, Xiaoping'an was completely blind. By the way, I don't know if the gold coins in this world are useful. If the gold coins are useful, I still have a lot of gold coins with me. Under the guidance of the god of Fortune Boy, the valley became more and more dangerous. In the end, it gradually turned into a thin line of sky, allowing only one person to pass through the gap. Moreover, the path of the line of sky was getting higher and higher. When Xiaoping'an came out of the line of sky, the scenery in front of him suddenly opened up, which shocked Xiaoping'an. An endless stretch of mountains appeared in front of Xiaoping'an. The mountains in front of us are full of strange peaks, and clouds are flying everywhere. Many peaks have penetrated the clouds in the sky. Most of the peaks are above the clouds, tens of thousands of meters high. Several waterfalls tower from there. The water flows down from the mountains of Ruiyun, and when the sun shines in the sky, under the waterfalls, rainbows span the mountains, like fairy bridges, and birds fly under the rainbows of the waterfalls. This scenery, it is both magnificent and breathtakingly beautiful. The god of Fortune Boy has returned to Xiaoping'an and is sitting on his shoulders, grabbing Xiaoping'an's hair playfully. Just as Xiaoping'an was sizing up the scenery in front of him, Xiaoping'an suddenly felt a sudden darkness above his head. The mountains on the ground in front of him were suddenly covered by a huge shadow, and the sunlight was suddenly blocked. Xiaoping'an looked up. Damn, That sight almost shocked his jaw. A giant turtle slowly fell from the top of the clouds in the sky, squeezing out a huge gap in the clouds. Its terrifying figure was revealed in the rolling clouds. The giant turtle was paddling leisurely in the sky. It held its limbs and flew forward as if swimming in the sea. The giant turtle was so big that it was more than 10,000 meters long. Its pale golden body floated in the sky like a mountain. Xiaopingyan was not someone who had never seen the world before, but he was still shocked by the giant turtle in front of him. The most surprising thing is not the giant turtle, but the giant turtle's back, which seems to be carrying a city. Standing on the ground and looking up to the sky, you can also see the outline of the city on the giant turtle's back, the clear outlines of tall towers, city walls, and other buildings. Seeing the giant turtle in the sky, the god of fortune boy standing on Xiaopingyan's shoulders also raised his head and looked at it. His little face turned red with excitement and he jumped for joy directly on Xiaopingyan's body. While Xiaopingyan was stunned, he saw silhouettes rising up from hundreds of miles around on the land, on the mountain peaks, and in the deep valleys, flying towards the giant turtle in the sky. Xiaopingyan saw that those figures were all summoners. They were hiding everywhere before, but now they showed up when they saw the giant turtle appearing. The place where he appeared should be one of the entrances and exits from Yuankai world to this world. Those summoners flying towards the giant turtle should also be summoners like himself who had just arrived here not long ago. Xiaopingyan's heart moved, and he suddenly stood up and flew towards the giant turtle in the sky. Within a few minutes, Xiaopingyan caught up with the giant turtle. My dear. When it flew under the giant turtle, the terrifying size of the giant turtle put more pressure on people. The limbs of the giant turtle slid gently, and strong winds stirred in the air, like 4,000-meter-long giant oars swinging. Wearing the same. Xiaopingyan saw other summoners flying towards the back of the giant turtle, and he also flew towards the back of the giant turtle. Flying on the back of the giant turtle, just behind the giant turtle's head, Xiaopingyan saw the gate at the entrance of a city. Summoners landed at the entrance of the city gate one by one. With a wave of their hands, a golden light flashed, and gold coins were placed in a box at the entrance of the city gate. Then the summoners entered the city one by one from the city gate. There are two cute wooden dolls with smiling faces guarding the city gate. What the puppet on the left said was, Qingfeng City, entry fee, 1,000 gold coins, all summoners are welcome. What the puppet on the right said was, Qingfeng City is going to the Immortal Sea. If you want to make a fortune, find the World Pearl and bathe in the divine spring of the Nether Realm, don't miss it. Interesting. Xiaopingyan touched his chin and muttered in his heart. Seeing that he could enter here with gold coins, he suddenly felt relieved. He watched a bare-headed summoner in front of him pay the money and enter the city. Xiaopingyan also came there. At the city gate, he took out 1,000 gold coins from the space equipment, waved his hand, and put the gold coins into the box at the city gate. Then Xiaopingyan walked through the gate tower passage and entered the city. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 373. Just as Xiaopingyan stepped into the gate of Qingfeng City, behind Xiaopingyan, there was the sound of a large number of gold coins being thrown into the box at the gate. Xiaopingyan instinctively glanced back and saw an old man flying down to the city gate and paying the entrance fee. The old man looked very good-looking, with snow-white eyebrows and a baby-like face. He was wearing a Cyan summoner's robe and holding a whisk in his hand. He looked like he was a master, but he had a pair of small eyes. He was turning around, his nose was a little red, and if he looked carefully, he looked a bit wretched and cunning. After the old man invested the gold coins, he was about to follow him into the city, but he was blocked by a light film at the city gate. The invisible light film directly bounced the old man back. The entry fee you put into the box is 997 gold coins, and 3 copper coins. The puppet on the left side of the city gate turned his head and looked at the old man coldly and said, "If you don't make up the difference of 3 gold coins within 10 breaths, you will lose the right to enter the city. We have seen a lot of liars like you who want to get through. Be honest, you old thing, and pay the money quickly." The one on the right, the puppet, also turned its head and said mechanically. Xiaopingan almost laughed when he heard the puppet say "you old thing" in cold and mechanical words. The old man was also stunned for a moment, then rubbed his nose awkwardly, patted his head, and laughed again. "Look, I accidentally got mixed up, misunderstanding, it's all misunderstanding." As he said that, the old man popped 3 gold coins into the box, then quickly passed through the energy light film at the entrance of the city gate and entered the city at once. Xiaopingan curled his lips. How could a summoner of this level take out gold coins from his space equipment and count them one by one? Instead, he had an idea and wanted to take 1,000. 1,000 gold coins would be enough. When they came out of the space equipment, they would definitely not be 999, nor 1,001, nor copper coins and silver coins. This old man just deliberately threw in 3 less gold coins, and mixed the copper coins with the gold coins. Want to sneak into the city? Seeing Xiaopingan in front, the old man flicked his fly whisk, walked 2 steps quickly, and caught up with Xiaopingan with a smile on his face. He said, "This little brother is so kind-hearted. He can enter the world of god-killing insects at a young age. It's amazing. Amazing. I wonder what I call you." "My name is Kui Li, what do you call me?" Xiaopingan said calmly. "You can call me Lu Yazan." The old man began to show his true colors as a magic stick, and his face straightened. "I see that your hall is dark, little brother. I'm afraid there will be a bloody disaster recently. Why don't you draw a lot and I'll do the math for you, how to resolve." As he spoke, the old man moved his hand, took out a lottery tube, and shook it twice in front of Xiaopingan. "I, Lu Yazan, am a fortune teller and a fortune teller. I only need 100 gold coins to draw a lottery. Brother, do you want to try?" Damn it, the summoner who just came to the world of god-killing insects is from the 6th Sun realm. Encountering an insect is a fierce battle. Who has not suffered a bloody disaster? The words of this old man are the words of a charlatan. It's a coincidence. I happen to be able to interpret dreams. I see that my brother is in a trance. He must not have had a good rest recently. I wonder what dream you had, brother. You can tell me and let me interpret it? I can interpret your dreams once and it's cheap. It only costs 100 gold coins. Xiaopingan also said with a smile. The old man glanced at Xiaopingan, suddenly put away the lottery tube, laughed suddenly, and cupped his hands towards Xiaopingan. "It turns out that my brother and I are the same people, so disrespectful." "You're welcome, it's just a casual meal." "Brother, are you here in the god-killing insect realm this time for the divine spring in the 7 Sun realm? Otherwise, this place is so dangerous, who would come here for no reason?" Xiaopingan said, pretending to be helpless, shrugging, but his eyes scanned everything in the city, and he was obsessed with everything here. "It feels fresh." "That's right. After the 6 Yang realm, it's not easy to practice. Every time you take a step forward, you don't know how much blood and sweat you have to shed, and you might even lose your life." Lu Yuqian also sighed with emotion. "Whoever comes here has no idea in their heart. It's a dream to become a god. It's just that the divine spring in the 7 Suns realm is also extremely precious, but it's not that easy to get. I've been here for more than 10 years and I've spent a lot of money, but what does the divine spring in the 7 Suns realm look like? I have never seen it. Hey, when I was young, I was ambitious to become a god, or at least become a demigod. Now that I am old, I just think that if I can achieve the 7 Suns realm in this life, How many more years will it take? 100 years of life would be enough. The current 6 Yang realm is too high or too low. Xiaopingan nodded. Although Qingfeng City is flying in the sky on the back of a big turtle, the city is quite lively. As soon as I walked in from the city gate, I could see people coming and going everywhere on the street. There are various shops and restaurants nearby. Those who didn't know it thought they were somewhere else. The only special thing here is that all the people walking on the streets in the city are summoners. This can be seen not only from the breath, but also from the clothes. Xiaopingan took a look and saw that most summoners on the street wear robes and crowns, and a small number of summoners wear armor or warrior-like combat uniforms. And from the aura, a large part of the summoner's aura is very obscure and dark. It seems to be covered with secret methods, making it difficult for people to detect. Those who can feel the obvious aura are all summoners in the 6 Yang realm. There are also a small number of summoners from the 7 Sun realm. Xiaopingan also restrained his aura, and others could not understand the depth of it. Wow, there are so many summoners in the 6 Sun realm, and there are also those in the 7 Sun realm, not bad. In the entire Yuan Kaiu, there are so many continents, so many countries, so many sects, and so many families. Almost 1/3 of the summoners above the 6 Yang realm are in the god-killing insect realm. This is the only human city in the god-killing insect realm. It can be counted that there are fewer flying cities like Qingfeng City, and there are naturally more masters here, but you will get used to it after staying for a long time. Lu Yizhan sighed with emotion. I think this is Brother Kui's first time here. Lu Yizhan began to get closer and closer to Xiaopingan. Well, it's my first time. No wonder, those who have been here for a little longer don't talk about the 6 Yang realm and the 7 Yang realm. Instead, they like to talk about the lighting realm, the netherworld realm, etc., because we are the same people. I'll teach you to be a good boy. If you meet a stranger, don't talk about the 6 Yang realm or the 7 Yang realm. You will easily suffer a loss. Lu Yushuan looked familiar. Why? When others hear you talk about the 6 Yang realm and the 7 Yang realm, they will know that you are a rookie who has just come to the god-killing insect realm. The habit of calling the realm has not changed yet. Who will they kill if they don't kill you? But for a veteran who has been here for a long time, you old Jianghu veterans actually have another set of terms for calling you, which is like slang. If you use that old Jianghu title, others will not dare to kill you casually. Ah, what slang? Simple. Lu Yizhan said, suddenly looking at a restaurant next to him with the aroma of wine wafting out. He touched his nose, took a sip of saliva, and looked at Xiaopingan with a smile. I'm a wine bug in my stomach. He called me again. Why don't you, Brother Kui, buy me a drink? When I feel refreshed, we can have a good chat. Ha, this guy was cheating money by cheating with food and drink. Xiaopingan couldn't help but laugh. It's not a big deal to eat or drink. I saw a lot of people in the restaurant. I guess the consumption here is not that expensive. Xiaopingan happened to be looking for someone to ask about the god-killing insect world and get to know the situation here. Was about to agree. Then, Xiaopingan suddenly heard 2 summoners running hurriedly down the street beside him. The man running past was still muttering, hurry up, I heard there are a lot of people coming from Qingfeng City. There are a lot of world beads, there are a lot of caster world beads, there are also Saint Master world beads and a lot of spiritual crystals, and the gambling shop over there is also open. Saint Master world pearl? The forger's world pearl? These 2 terms fell in Xiaopingan's ears, and Xiaopingan was immediately shocked. Xiaopingan had coveted these 2 kinds of world beads for a long time, but it was a pity that he never had the chance to see them. He didn't expect that there were actually some in the city. Brother Lu, I want to visit Fangxi. Does Brother Lu want to go? Lu Yizhan sniffed and glanced at the restaurant reluctantly, but still said, let's go together, I also want to see it. If I hadn't come here, it wouldn't be easy to see the Saint Master World Pearl. As soon as Yuan Kai's Saint Master World Beads and other professional world beads appeared, they were taken away by those big shots and are no longer available on the market. Golden Summoner. Author, Zy Hu. Chapter 374. Qingfeng City's Fangxi is like a square with 4 gates. The square is surrounded by shops. In the middle of the square, there is a high platform more than 1 meter high. When Xiaoping and Lu Yazan came to Fangxi, that square, the city square, was already crowded with people and looked quite lively. The front of the high platform was already crowded with summoners watching the excitement. Xiaoping and Lu Yazan couldn't squeeze to the front, so they could only watch from behind. The boundary beads are on a high platform in the middle of the city. Several boundary beads are like exhibits for people to visit. They are suspended in the air on the high platform and can be seen by everyone around the high platform. On the high platform, there is a man wearing a fiery red mage's robe. He is standing next to the boundary beads quite arrogantly. He is looking at the crowd around the high platform with an arrogant look. The middle-aged man has Qi Yang on his body. The aura of the realm summoner was revealed without any scruples. Although the most common summoners in the god-killing insect realm are 6 Yang realm, the 7 Yang realm seems to be only 1 realm different from the 6 Yang realm, but this realm, to the summoner, is like an ordinary person and a professional. The gap between the athletes is enough to separate 2 classes. The man in the fiery red mage robe also has enough reasons to be proud. Xiaoping came here and stared directly at the high platform. The most conspicuous boundary bead at the highest point in the middle of the high platform suddenly came into Xiaoping's eyes, which shocked Xiaoping's heart. The Holy Master World Bead, it is indeed the Holy Master World Bead. Lu Yuxuan, who was staring at the high platform, sucked his saliva, his eyes were shining, and he said in a lewd voice, "Damn it, I don't know that the Saint Master World Bead is for sale. How much is it?" More than 10 years ago, I saw a sale of the Saint Master World Pearl. It cost more than 3 million gold coins. It is a priceless treasure. It is the most valuable world pearl. Once the Saint Master World Pearl is fused, it is powerful. Now, Holy Master, that's the mentor of all summoners, it's hard not to make a fortune. Confucius, it turns out to be Confucius. At this moment, Xiaoping looked at the Saint Master Realm Pearl and shouted in his heart. The Holy Master World Pearl that attracts the most attention is colorful. The whole World Pearl looks as gentle as jade on the outside, but inside it is flashing with a rainbow-like bright light. It is very dazzling. In the light, except for those with small seal characters apart from the word Confucius, a statue of Confucius standing with his hands crouched was looming, just like a saint standing among the world beads. He had an indescribable charm and attracted the attention of everyone present. The summoners around the high platform looked at the Holy Master Realm Pearl with their eyes filled with worship, respect, greed, envy, all kinds of things. Next to the Holy Master World Bead at the top, there are several other world beads. The other world beads are arranged very interestingly. 1 world bead is suspended in the center, and there are 6 other world beads surrounding it. The bead in the center. The boundary bead in the center is deep and solemn black, like a black crystal. There seems to be flames gushing out from the middle of the boundary bead. 3 small words flash in the flame slag hole, Oyuze, and there is a sword in the boundary bead. Faintly visible. In addition, the 6 boundary beads surrounding Oyuze's boundary beads are of different colors, but one thing is the same. There are no words in the middle of those boundary beads, but only the clear light and shadow of several looming instruments. Although it was not close to the high platform, the summoner's eyesight could still allow Xiaoping to clearly see the light and shadow in the world bead. Xiaoping was stunned when he saw the light and shadow of those instruments, because in those lights and shadows, he saw the shadow of the cultural relics he was most familiar with. The lotus lamp has a base and handle connected together. It is covered with a rosette and decorated with lotus petals. The bottom of the base is decorated with a bead pattern. The lower part of the handle is decorated with a honeysuckle pattern. The upper end is a lotus to support the lamp. The square lip of the lamp is slightly restrained. The bottom of the lamp is decorated with a lotus flower, the belly is decorated with honeysuckle, 4 groups of orbs and crescent-shaped patterns, arranged alternately. The rim of the lamp is decorated with linked bead patterns, which is clearly the ancient lamp of the northern Qi dynasty unearthed from the Wang Jiafeng tombs. The bronze scepter in the boundary bead next to it is the bronze scepter with a handle and bead pattern that is the treasure of Jinzhou Museum. The lamp and the scepter are very similar to the heart lamp magical artifact and judgment scepter that Xiaopingan once used. There is also the big tripod in the boundary bead next to it. It has a round mouth and flat lips, a round bottom, trimmed ears, hoof feet, and diagonal checkered cloud patterns on the ears. It has a snake pattern on the belly and a rhinoceros head pattern on the knees. It is the great cauldron of Chu. The tripod is an important artifact of the Anhui Provincial Museum. The light and shadow in the other boundary beads, knives, swords, wine bottles, incense burners, etc., can all be compared with the cultural relics in Xiaopingan's memory, each with its own brilliance. To be honest, Xiaopingan has been looking forward to these world beads for a long time. Now that he sees them, he feels very excited and a little confused for some reason. It's amazing, it's amazing. In addition to the Saint Master's world bead, the Forger's world bead was also brought out, and 6 types of weapon soul world beads were displayed at once. What is this for? Is it going to be auctioned? How much will it cost? Money. Lu Yushuan rubbed his hands and murmured to himself next to Xiaopingan. As he spoke, he snorted and wiped the drool from the corner of his mouth. Brother Lu, is there only one Saint Master world pearl? Xiaopingan turned his head, looked at Lu Yushuan, and humbly asked for advice. Lu Yizan was also stunned for a moment. Of course there is only one Holy Master world pearl. How many do you think there will be? I heard before that those summoners who fused the Saint Master World Pearl to become Saint Masters can help others fuse the World Pearl, but different Saint Masters can help others merge with different World Pearls. If there is only one Saint Master World Pearl, how can everyone, if they are not all the same, how come they are so different after fusion? Lu Yushuan stroked his beard and laughed proudly. Looking at Xiaopingan's eyes, he actually got closer to Xiaopingan. He even patted Xiaopingan on the shoulder. He, it seems that Brother Kui Li, you are also from a poor family. Given my background, it's really not easy to cultivate to this point. Ahem, I am indeed not rich. What does this have to do with me being poor? Haha, if you, Brother Kui Li, come from a wealthy family, you must have come into contact with the Holy Master, and you may be initiated and preached by the Holy Master. Only those of us who have worked hard on our own, naturally have no chance to accept the Holy Master teaching, so I don't know what is going on with this Holy Master World Pearl. Although there is only one Holy Master World Pearl, the abilities of people who have successfully integrated it vary greatly. I heard that the reason is that this World Pearl is not a one-time pearl. Can be fully integrated. Xiaopingan was stunned. Could this world bead be able to be fused multiple times? Of course. Lu Yizwen nodded. Fusing this Holy Master World Pearl can open up a holy temple in the secret mandala. I heard that those holy masters who have successfully integrated will often go to the secret mandala. Through enlightenment in the Holy Church, you can obtain the preaching position rewarded by the Church. After you have the preaching position, the Holy Master can also use the preaching position to combine with the world bead, and then you can master the initiation and preaching method of a certain world bead. Different saints can master. The realm of realization after integrating the Holy Master World Pearl is different, and the number and quality of the teaching positions obtained are different. Therefore, the types and quantities of the world beads for initiation and preaching that can be mastered are naturally also different. Ordinary holy masters can master the world beads for initiation and mission. Maybe only 3 or 5, more than 10 or 8, and a powerful one can master dozens of them, do you understand? That's it, Xiaopinggan nodded. Then is there any perfect fusion of the Saint Master World Pearl? Lu Yizhan suddenly stopped laughing. Even the few summoners around him who were watching the excitement looked at him with strange eyes. A summoner in his 30s with a beard sneered and couldn't help but said directly to Xiaopinggan. Brother, there are thousands of world beads, and there have been countless geniuses among summoners since ancient times. However, in the past countless thousands of years, the only world bead that cannot be perfectly integrated is the Saint Master World Bead. The Saint Master World Bead has no divine thoughts. Crystal, as long as ordinary people can understand a little bit, the fusion part will be of infinite use and have a prominent status. How can you still want to fuse it perfectly? Lu Yizhan was afraid that Xiaopinggan would lose face and cause conflicts with others, so he quickly took over the conversation and softened his tone a little. Ahem, brother Kui Li, think about it, if the Holy Master World Pearl can be perfectly fused, then the person who fuses it, wouldn't it be possible to master the secret method of initiation and preaching of all world beads? This is something that even the gods cannot do. The gods all have mysteries of boundary separation. If there is such a person, wouldn't it be contrary to heaven and able to unify the entire Yuankai world? Xiaopinggan's eyes flashed as he stared at the Saint Master World Pearl on the table. He took a deep breath and smiled. Brother Lu is right, but I'm overthinking it. That's right. What are those weapon soul realm beads next to the forger that Brother Lu mentioned about? This is also the first time I have seen it. Lu Yizhan glanced at Xiaopinggan in slight surprise. Generally speaking, those who have cultivated to the level of Xiaopinggan are definitely summoners who have been training for many years. These casters' boundary beads should have been seen before, but judging from Xiaopinggan's appearance, it seemed like it was his first time meeting him, which was a little strange. Xiaopinggan also found that the question he just asked was a bit exposed, so he explained with a smile, I used to be in the mountains, I had few contacts with people, and I didn't see many world beads. That's it, Lu Yizhan nodded in relief, those weapon soul realm beads are naturally used for fusion by the caster. Brother, do you think that one caster can cast all the magic weapons? What are the different functions? Naturally, only the caster who has mastered the fusion of different weapon souls can cast the magic weapon. There is also a difference between the casters. After the ordinary people have fused the caster world pearl, they can only cast the magic weapon. It's just a long sword. After Lu Yizhan finished speaking, the summoner next to him who had just spoken started scolding angrily, Granny, almost all the Saint Master world beads and Forger world beads in the Yuankai world have been taken over by those wealthy families, great nations, divine sects, and the like. These two kinds of world beads are the most important world beads for summoners. Monopolizing these two kinds of world beads is equivalent to monopolizing the inheritance and tools of summoners, so that their descendants can enjoy it from generation to generation. To enjoy eternal wealth and honor, we are all superior to others, so we can only be forced to come to this world of God-killing insects to find opportunities. Haha, good things will naturally be snatched by people. If I were the emperor's leader or the head of the family, I would also have a monopoly on control. As long as I have the Saint Master World Bead and the Forger World Bead in my hands, I can strangle countless people. Throat, let your descendants and family members around you become Saint Masters and Forgers, that is the best, a summoner sneered. The road to becoming a god is full of hardships and dangers, how can it be so easy? Listening to the conversation of the summoner beside him, Xiaopinggan licked his lips, looked at Taishan, and thought about how to get those world beads in his hands. More and more summoners heard the news and came towards Fang City, and more summoners gathered here. There were more people in Fangxi Square, and everyone became restless. Until now, no one knows what the meaning of putting those world pearls there is for people to see, whether they are for sale, auction, or want to exchange some resources. The man in the fiery red mage robe on the high platform had been standing arrogantly, saying nothing. Then how do you sell the Holy Master World Bead? It costs millions of gold coins. You can give me a price. Some summoners started making noises. Yes, let me tell you something. Putting these world beads here will make people greedy. 4 million gold coins, I want the Holy Master World Pearl. Seeing that the crowd in the square had gathered enough, the man in the fiery red mage robe finally spoke. Everyone. As soon as the man spoke, his voice rumbled, and all the noise was suppressed at once. Today, our Wanchen sect is recruiting disciples in Qingfeng City, and the World Pearl on this stage is for the new recruits. Disciples. The 10,000 Gods sect. It turns out to be the 10,000 Gods section. Many of the summoners in the square seemed to have heard of the name of the 10,000 Gods sect, and they were all surprised. Chapter 2 later. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 375. 10,000 Gods sect. This name is a bit unfamiliar to Xiaopingan, but judging from the appearance of other summoners present, this name is famous in the world of god-killing insects. Xiaopingan saw a look of understanding and shock on the faces of some of the summoners around him. The understanding probably meant that the Wanchen sect could take out those realm beads for granted, while the shock was because he didn't expect those realm beads. The beads were taken out by the Wanchen sect. In the previously crowded Fangxi Square, after the man told his origins, some summoners even shook their heads and left. Brother Lu, what is the origin of the Wanchen sect? Xiaopingan asked Lu Yazan in a low voice. Holy crap, what kind of 10,000 God sect is that? It's the 10,000 death section. No wonder they can take out those 2 world beads to give to the disciples who join. Even if they have the life to fuse, they probably won't have the life to survive. Lu Yazan shaking his head, he looked frightened. What's the meaning? Brother Kui Li, do you know who founded the Wanchen sect? Who? The people who founded the Wanchen sect were a group of sky warriors. Skywalker. People like me? Xiaopingan was really shocked. Lu Yazan said to Xiaopingan, more than 1,000 years ago, the plane of the Skywalkers who founded the Wanchen sect was invaded by the Zerg. Then a large number of elites from that world came to the Yuan-Kai world and established the Wanchen sect, which became extremely prosperous. For a time, a large number of masters and powerful men from the Wanchen sect later transferred their base to the god-killing insect world, and found a geomantic treasure in the god-killing insect world. Now they have become a major force in the god-killing insect world, and are only the territory of the Wanchen section. You have been invaded by the Zerg for many years, and you are always at war with the Zerg. Although the boundary beads given by the Wanchen sect are attractive, the conditions seem to be good, but those who really join the Wanchen sect will face battles with the Zerg at any time. After many years, there are not many people alive, so the 10,000 God sect has become the 10,000 death sect in the mouths of many people. Lu Yazan said the last 2 sentences in a sly voice, as if he was afraid that the person on the stage in front of him would hear them. I see, then why does the 10,000 God sect establish its foundation in the world of god-killing insects? I heard that the Zerg that invaded the plane of the 10,000 God sect are from the god-killing insect realm. They are fighting those Zerg here. In fact, they are protecting their world and looking for opportunities to become gods. Therefore, the people of the 10,000 Gods zone fight it's most dangerous to get up. Xiaopingan frowned. After all these years, has no one from the Wanchen sect been able to become a god and end the Zerg invasion? Brother Kui Li, do you think it is so easy to become a god? It means turning a snake into a dragon. 100 demigods, that is, 100 snakes, may not be able to have one of them transform into a dragon and become a god. Even if the 10,000 God sect there are demigods, but they are far from becoming gods. In the time it took the 2 of them to say these words, A quarter of the summoners in the square had already left after hearing that they were from the Huanshen section. Even the remaining people suddenly lost the enthusiasm they had just now. A few people just wanted to stay and watch the excitement. The man on the stage wearing a fiery red mage robe was unmoved. He seemed to have expected this to happen. He just watched coldly and allowed all the summoners who wanted to leave before continuing to act coldly and proudly. He said, "Many people left when they heard that I came from the Huanshen section. I can understand their thoughts, because a few years ago, they and I also left after hearing the name of the Huanshen section. Everyone thought the 10,000 God sect is called the 10,000 Death sect, and joining our 10,000 God sect means countless battles, which means that the possibility of dying in the God-killing insect world will increase, which I can completely understand. However, I also feel sorry for those who left. We became summoners and practiced to the realm of enlightenment. Who doesn't have a dream of becoming a god in our hearts? We risked huge risks to come to the realm of killing gods. Is it just, are you willing to stop at the realm of Tanju? Or stop at the realm of transformation? These world beads that are rare for everyone to see outside are just some of the resources that can be enjoyed by joining the Huanshen section. As long as everyone joins the Huanshen sect, from the realm of illumination to the state of concentration, the Huanshen sect has no shortage of divine spring resources in the realm. As soon as the realm is reached, you can immediately bathe and advance. This is a treatment that cannot be enjoyed anywhere else. The man's words caused some commotion among the summoners in the square. Indeed, the most attractive thing about the god-killing insect realm is the divine spring here that breaks through the realm. Almost all the summoners who come here for the divine spring. If there is a divine spring to bathe in when the realm is reached, it will indeed be a big deal. Welfare. The most regrettable thing for those who leave is that as soon as they leave, their path to becoming gods is cut off. Throughout history, gods, almost without exception, have emerged from cruel wars and battles step by step, avoiding those who are afraid of war, tired of war, afraid of death, and afraid of the enemy. As long as they have this thought in their hearts, their path to becoming a god will be cut off. The common characteristic of all people who can become a god is that they have no fear. In order to become a god, the heart is as unshakable as the earth. A person who doesn't even believe that he can survive a cruel battle still thinks about becoming a god. That is simply the biggest joke. Haha, after talking so much, you just want us to join the 10,000 God sect to help you fight against the Zerg. Please say less of these high-sounding words. We are not children anymore. On the square, there was a summoner with a vague aura. He said coldly. The man on the stage smiled slightly. I thought the same thing as you 3 years ago, but in the past 3 years, I joined the 10,000 God sect and have advanced to the Netherworld realm. I have never looked for the divine spring in the Netherworld realm myself. It is an indisputable fact, and the Huanshen sect does not have so many rigid rules. After fighting in battles for the past 3 years, what I feel most deeply is that I actually understand a truth. In this world, the easy path has been taken by others. It's not our turn, and the road to becoming a god is the most difficult one in the world. It is dangerous to join the Huanshen sect, but unless you have a demigod in your family, joining the Huanshen sect is the best way for us to succeed in this world. I found the closest road to the throne of God. If you think there is a road closer than this, you can tell me. Everyone in the square was speechless. Even the summoner who had just started to criticize people was speechless. The conditions offered by the Huanshen sect were indeed tempting. At this moment, the demon gates are wide open all over the Yuan-Kai world, and the orders of gods and demons that have not appeared for countless years have reappeared. These are signs that great changes in the Yuan-Kai world are coming. This is not something you can avoid if you want. Understand, people naturally understand. These days, I am in Fang City. Before Qingfeng City reaches the Immortal Sea, those who want to embark on the road to becoming a god can come here to find me at any time. The Huanshen sect welcomes everyone to join. New gods, there are maybe when my Wanshen sect appears. After saying this, the man from Taishan sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes. I want to join the 10,000 gods section. Xiaopingan suddenly walked out and said loudly. Lu Yizhan looked at Xiaopingan with astonishment on his face as if he were looking at an alien. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Zyu. Chapter 376. Brother Kui Li, I really didn't expect that you are also a ruthless person. Oh, forget it, I don't even know what to say about you. With this glass of wine, I wish you a bright future in the Wanshan section like a brocade, good luck. In the restaurant, Lu Yizhan, whose face was red and already drunk after eating, toasted Xiaopingan and burped. Thank you for your kind words, brother. Xiaopingan and Kui Li clinked their glasses and drank it all in one gulp. If I ever become prosperous, don't forget about me. The 10,000 death section. No, it's the 10,000 gods section, although it's a bit more dangerous after entering. The 10,000 gods sect is really rich in resources. To put it bluntly, yes, if you join the Wanshan sect, you will be taken advantage of by those who cross the sky, but as long as you don't care about your life and can kill insects, you are not stingy in the Wanshan sect, and you will advance quickly in it. Lu Yizhan's face became more and more alcoholic. It became more and more obvious that his tongue was tied when he spoke. Xiaopingan smiled. He joined the Wanshan sect, which was a deliberate move. Xiaopingan has thousands of history books in his mind, thousands of years of events, and the rise and fall of countless historical figures. In the end, one of the few simple truths he came to is that the only way for a small person to rise to power is to find someone who can be used by others. Where the value lies. Being used by others is not a bad thing, it means there is value in using it. All resources are gathered in valuable places. A person's power is always limited, and it is not bad to work alone. But if there is a larger platform, and that platform can control a lot of resources, then joining that platform is the fastest way to grow. In this regard, it can be well confirmed from my own experience in Shangjing City. If I had not joined the Judgment Army and the Shadow Guard, enjoying such a huge platform advantage, I would never have been able to go to Shangjing City in such a short period of time when I had just arrived. This kind of place impacts the Five Yang realm. Wanshan sect is a big platform. As for the danger, he was being hunted by the demon god's order, the entire blood demon cult was chasing him, and even the demigods had met him. Is he still afraid of a few bugs? There are two other more important reasons. First, since the Wanshan sect was founded by a space traveler, as a space traveler, I have the same appeal as the people of the Wanshan section. They are all working people who suffered from space invasion. The people of the Wanshan sect are his natural allies. From the Wanshan sect, Xiaopingan also wants to see how they resist space invasion in this world, and maybe he can learn something useful. The second reason is that what the red mage from the Wanshan sect said completely moved Xiaopingan. Although joining the Wanshan sect is dangerous, this path is also the fastest path to becoming a god that he can find now. To destroy the Tower of Darkness, one must become a god. Therefore, Xiaopingan resolutely chose to join the Wanshan sect. This restaurant is very interesting. The waiters in the restaurant and the chefs in the restaurant are all characters summoned by the summoner. Let's not talk about the waiters. The farmers in the secret mandala can do the job just by changing their clothes, but the restaurant cook made the food was actually pretty good, with good color, flavor, and taste. Xiaopingan really didn't expect that there was a world bead that could summon the chef. A meal and some wine in this restaurant cost 200 gold coins. The price is really not cheap. The two of them were eating and chatting at the restaurant. Xiaopingan spent most of the time listening to Lu Yizhan's bragging. After finishing the meal, it was already dark. Xiaopinggan and Lu Yushuan came out of the restaurant. Lu Yushuan was already staggering a little. The old man also packed a pot of wine and a roast chicken and walked out of the restaurant drunk. Out. Qingfeng City is flying in the sky supported by a giant turtle. Looking up, the clouds are flying in the sky, and the stars are moving slowly. Qingfeng City is full of lights and feasting, which has a special meaning. Brother Kui Lia, let's say goodbye. The rooms in this city are expensive, and I have to find a place to stay. I fell in love with you, brother, and we have a long way to go. See you again when you have a chance. After Lu Yazan said to Xiaopingyan, he waved and staggered away. After taking a few steps, Lu Yazan seemed to remember something again and turned around suddenly. He came over and said, "Oh, I almost forgot, Brother Kui Li doesn't have any Horcruxes yet. I remember that there is a shop specializing in Horcruxes in Chenyu Lane in Qingfeng City, called Saniozai. I know the shopkeeper well. If I want to buy a Horcrux, you can go there and tell me my name, and I can give you a discount." Brother Xiaolu. Let's go, Lu Yushuan said and turned around again. As he walked, he shouted, "Brother Gao," he said, "with a pot of wine in the country, I sleep drunk on the pillow of flowers. I dream of becoming a guest from Nanshan. I still have nothing to do in the world, ha ha ha." After a while, he disappeared into the crowd on the street. Looking at the back of this old man, he really has a somewhat aristocratic temperament. If he hadn't seen him evading fares at the city gate, Xiaopingyan would have been fooled by him at this moment. Xiaopingyan rubbed his face, turned around, and walked towards the other side of the street. The chat with Lu Yazan just now was not fruitless. The old man was well informed and told Xiaopingyan a lot of useful information over the course of the meal. The kind of black monster Xiaopingyan encountered before has a name in the world of god-killing insects, and it is called the mantis knife insect. Those bugs have their own characteristics, but they all have one thing in common, which is that they have terrifying defense power. When the black mantis blade insect faces the summoner of the Sixth Sun Realm, it is not certain who will win. If the summoner of the Sixth Sun Realm is not in good condition, does not have enough power, or is slightly negligent in the battle, he may be killed by the mantis. Knife bug kill. Xiaopingyan's previous problem with the mantis knife insect also existed for other summoners, that is, the amount of divine power required to kill a mantis knife insect with magic spells was too much, even for summoners in the Sixth Sun's realm. Unable to withstand the torment of a few mantis bugs, in this case, it depends on the summoner's respective coping skills when facing those bugs. In the battle with the Zerg, for the summoner, in addition to improving his own realm and mastering more lethal summoning spells, there are actually two other ways to go when facing the Zerg. One way is to use the power of the Array Talisman to kill those bugs, the second way is to use the Horcrux. Magical weapons are still somewhat useful in dealing with bugs below the Six Yang realm. To face those bugs that frequently appear with the strength of the Six Yang realm, they must be powerful soul weapons. Using powerful Horcruxes to break through the defenses of those bugs, and then combining them with powerful spells to kill them, is the most effective way to deal with those bugs. This is what the masters do. Xiaopingyan also wanted to play this way, but he didn't have a suitable Horcrux on hand, so Lu Yazan introduced Xiaopingyan to a place that sold Horcruxes when he left. Xiaopingyan asked someone on the street and found out that the Chenyu alley that old man Lu mentioned was near Fangxi Square. Since there was nothing to do now, he planned to go to Chenyu alley for a stroll. Xiaopingyan was deeply impressed by the Horcrux demon sword in the Judgment Army. If he had such a thing in his hand, it shouldn't be difficult to break through the mantis's defense. In less than half an hour, Xiaopingyan arrived at Chenyu alley and found the Saniozai in Chenyu alley. Saniozai is a foundry shop. The front of the shop sells goods, while the back of the shop is in full swing. There is a huge furnace erected, smelting metal, hot air billows, red light rises into the sky, and several steam hammers. White steam is rising, and the iron embryo is being hammered. There are also a bunch of puppets and summoned craftsmen working in the background, and the sound of clanging iron can be heard dozens of meters away. In the shop in front, there are more than 10 kinds of magic weapons on display, including swords, guns, and arrows, and each magic weapon flashes with a unique brilliance. If he were still on Earth or in the Great Yan Kingdom, Xiaoping'an would be excited when facing these magic weapons. But for Xiaoping'an, who is now in the 5 Yang realm, those magic weapons look pretty good, but they can no longer attract him. His interest was piqued. What he needed now was a Horcrux that could kill the 6 Yang realm mantis knife insect. There were more than 10 people gathered in San'iozai's shop, and all of them were looking at the magical artifacts displayed in the shop. "Shopkeeper, I heard that you have Horcruxes for sale here," a summoner with a vague aura and a black mage robe who walked around the shop for 2 times asked directly. Golden Summoner. Author, Zyu. Chapter 377. There are Horcruxes, but one of the Horcruxes we still had in the store was bought by someone 2 days ago. If you want to buy one now, you can only order it. It will take half a year. The shopkeeper of San'iozai, the round-faced fat man, stood behind the counter and replied with a smile. "Why does it take so long?" the black-robed summoner asked. "If you want a magical weapon, I can give it to you now. If you want a Horcrux, it will take at least half a year. This half year is not what I need, but what you need. In these 6 months, you need to take more soul-strengthening pills. Then we can give it to you." The mage divides your soul and allows your soul to be integrated into the magic weapon before it can be made into a Horcrux. You don't think that someone would cut off their own soul to make a Horcrux and sell it to others, right? Didn't you have one here before? Some of the previous Horcruxes were sold by others who no longer needed them, and some were the Horcruxes of fallen summoners that we collected here. The Horcruxes raised by others need to undergo special cleaning. Soul disposal can only be used by a different person, otherwise, even if you are given a Horcrux, you won't be able to use it. If you want those ready-made Horcruxes, you have to try your luck." The summoner, who had a vague breath and was wearing a black mage robe, was silent for a moment. "Can I ask, how much is the minimum price for a Horcrux here?" "The minimum starting price is 200,000 gold coins, and there is no upper limit. You also sell soul-strengthening pills here. If you want to buy soul-strengthening pills, you have to go to the elixir store. If your soul is not strong, you cannot forge a soul-nurturing weapon." "Okay, thank you." The summoner who asked the question didn't say much, turned around and walked out of San'iozai. It turned out that there were no ready-made Horcruxes here. Xiaoping'an was a little disappointed, but he didn't leave. Instead, he looked around in the store. The magical weapons in this store were pretty good, with prices ranging from thousands to tens of thousands of gold coins. After looking at it, a 7-star sword placed on the counter suddenly attracted Xiaoping'an's attention. It was a huge 2-handed 7-star sword. The sword was 1.5 meters long, with a silver-white sword body. The width of the middle part of the sword body was about 20 centimeters. It became narrower closer to the tip of the sword and closer to the hilt. The thicker it is, the sword body becomes streamlined, which looks extremely majestic and full of evil spirit. Xiaoping'an imagined in his mind how he would fight the mantis sword insect with this long sword, and nodded secretly in his mind. The mantis sword insect's thick carapace is more likely to be broken by heavy weapons, and this sword it is generous enough that when the mantis gets close, it can block it. Speaking of which, there are only a few of the magic weapons in this shop that are lightweight. It seems that they are all designed to deal with opponents like mantis bugs. "Shopkeeper, how much does this 7-star sword cost?" Xiaoping'an asked. "Your Majesty, you have good eyesight." The shopkeeper came over with a smile and introduced to Xiaoping'an, "This 7-star sword is most convenient for dealing with insects such as mantis blade insects. Although this sword is not a Horcrux, it is very effective against mantis blade insects. The damage is still there, and it is also very good at dealing with other Zerg races. This 7-star sword comes with a 3rd level solidity technique, a 2nd level armor breaking technique, and a 2nd level sharpness technique. This sword is extremely strong, thick, and upright. The sword body can store 2,600 points of summoning spells of divine power. Once this sword is completed the soul enchanting and advanced Horcrux, it will become a real treasure. How much? 36,000 gold coins. Xiaopingan nodded. The price didn't seem expensive, but he still felt a little distressed after spending so much money. In this world of god-killing insects, for summoners, money is really like running water, and gold coins are used as copper coins. Although Pingan has some wealth, it is still painful to deal with it like this. Does the shopkeeper know Lu Yazan? He introduced me to me. Can it be cheaper? When the shopkeeper heard what Xiaopingan said, his face changed slightly, and he looked at Xiaopingan with a strange look. Were you introduced by Lu Yazan? Yes, he said he can get a discount by mentioning his name here. Sir, please quickly take a look to see if you have lost anything. That Lu Yazan is an old liar who eats and drinks. He owes us hundreds of gold coins and hasn't paid back yet. He wants to do it again. If you dare to come to our place and cheat, I will break his legs. The shopkeeper suddenly gritted his teeth. Lu Yazan, where is Lu Yazan? That old liar is here again. The curtain behind the counter was lifted, and a strong man more than 2 meters tall walked out angrily with a hammer. Yumu looking around, he seemed to be looking for Lu Yazan. Zongshu, it's not Lu Yazan, it's this guest officer who was almost tricked by Lu Yazan again. Lu Yazan deceived him into coming to our place. I'm asking this guest officer if there is anything in his body that Lu Yazan deceived. Got it? After hearing what the shopkeeper said, the big man with the hammer returned to the backyard cursing. Xiaopingan secretly broke into a cold sweat and cursed in his heart, Old Lu, you bastard, you get a discount for mentioning your name, it's just like being beaten and breaking bones. Sir, if you sincerely want this 7-star sword, I will give you 500 less gold coins. What do you think? Fine. Xiaopingan nodded and paid with a bang. The shopkeeper took out the 7-star sword. Shopkeeper, let me ask, can you help me divide my soul and inject it into this sword? The shopkeeper shook his head and said, we have to wait half a year. I've already taken the soul strengthening pill. The shopkeeper spread his hands and said, our master who knows how to split the soul-splitting advanced magic weapon is out for something and won't be back for half a year. If you want, you can make an appointment first. Okay, sorry for bothering you. Xiaopingan then left San'aiuzai. Of course, he could not stay in Qingfeng City for more than half a year. I remember before that guy Yangzi said that as long as he mastered the secret method of dividing souls, he could upgrade the magic weapon into a Horcrux. It seems that if you want to own a Horcrux in a short time, you have to find someone who knows the secret method of dividing souls. It's just that such people are probably rare talents and may not be encountered. I don't know if there is any relationship between the dream spirit cult and the spiritual world. Thinking of the spirit world, Xiaopingan's heart moved. He hadn't been to the spirit world for a long time. Anyway, he was now in the world of god-killing insects. He was not afraid of exposing his whereabouts again. He might as well go to the spirit world to have a look, even if he could kill a few nightmare insects. Half an hour later, Xiaopingan found a hotel in the city to check into. After returning to the room, he summoned the black dragon to guard the room. He entered the secret room of the room. After a while, Xiaopingan's spirit body entered. The Arch of the Spiritual World Temple has entered the spiritual world again after a few months. As soon as he stepped out of the golden arch behind him, Xiaopingan's eyes were filled with thick gray fog. The surrounding terrain has completely changed. In the gray fog, it is no longer the wilderness in the capital city, but rolling hills. The stars are still shining brightly in the sky, and human spirits are looming. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 378. The Great Shang Kingdom went to the capital. Baitang Wangchuan hurriedly arrived at Rangzhou Palace. I have met His Highness the Crown Prince. Along the way, the maids of Rangzhou Palace saluted Baitang Wangchuan one after another. Baitang Wangchuan seemed not to be seen, and went straight to the Kaoko residence and entered the room directly. The room smelled of medicine. The two palace maids were giving medicine to Cao, who was sleeping on the bed in the room. Cao was lying on the bed, looking straight at the show tent. His face was a little pale, and he had no intention of taking any medicine. You guys go down and I'll do it. Baitang Wangchuan waved his hand gently, and the two maids in the room quickly left. Cao didn't seem to notice the arrival of Baitang Wangchuan. He still lay on the bed and closed his eyes. Waiting until the footsteps of the palace maid were far away, Baitang Wangchuan sighed deliberately. Hey, I originally wanted to tell you the news about that person, but you fell asleep, so forget it. After saying that, Baitang Wangchuan made a gesture. He wanted to leave, but as soon as he took 2 steps, his sleeve was pulled by someone. What news? Cao, who was originally lying on the bed, jumped up quickly and grabbed Baitang Wangchuan. Baitang Wangchuan looked at the medicine on the table and said slowly, that medicine. He turned around hastily, picked up the medicine bowl, and drank the medicine as if drinking water. Then, like a woman, he wiped his mouth and said, say quickly. Xia is safe and sound, and has entered the world of god-killing insects under the escort of a strong demigod, Baitang Wangchuan replied slowly at this time. Cao looked at Baitang Wangchuan with suspicion. Brother, you won't lie to me with false news again, will you? Baitang Wangchuan shook his head and his face became serious. Cao, I assure you that Xiaopingan this time was not arranged by me. I have just received news that Xiaopingan appeared just a few days ago. In Yushan City, the Blood Demon sect discovered his whereabouts, and Xuanhuan rushed to Yushan City in person. Ah, is he okay? Cao nervously grabbed Baitang Wangchuan's sleeve and asked in a trembling voice. Xuanhuan used powerful methods to blood sacrifice the entire Yushan City. Xiaopingan was rescued by a strong demigod. He left Yushan and went directly to the Chaos Icefield. He appeared at the entrance of the god-killing insect realm in the Chaos Icefield and then provoked the Blood Demon cult. Xuanhuan finally entered the world of god-killing insects. This news has now spread across all continents, so Xiaopingan is absolutely fine now, and I'm afraid there will be some chance. How do you know if this is true or not? Baitang Wangchuan sighed. Cao, you don't understand the world of powerful demigods. Xuanhuan suddenly rushed to Yushan City, sacrificed the entire Yushan City with blood, and killed countless people. He must have discovered Xiaopingan's traces, otherwise, he would never be so heartless and crazy that he would rather offend many snobbish people to do such a thing. And if Xiaopingan was able to leave Yushan under Xuanhuan's blood sacrifice method, then there must be a strong demigod who came to help. Only in this way can he fight against demigods. Before entering the god-killing insect realm, Xiaopingan revealed his identity at the entrance of the insect realm and challenged the Blood Demon sect and Xuanhuan. This was his response to Xuanhuan's blood sacrifice to Yushan. Isn't this his style? So, you don't have to worry about Xiaopingan anymore. The god-killing insect realm, I heard it's very dangerous there, Cao muttered to himself, but he had already cheered up. The danger is for others. I believe that for Xiaopingan, there must be a way, Baitang Wangchuan comforted softly. Xiaopingan is a skywalker, and he has secrets that we don't know. Now there are also semi-god level mysterious strong men around him to help. A few days ago, Emperor Tianfu asked Qin Tianjian to use secret divination to find his whereabouts, but they were unable to locate him. Several divination attempts were interfered with by powerful forces. This shows that Xiaoping'an definitely has the ability to protect oneself, and once entering the god-killing insect realm, Zhumotion's power will be restricted, making Xiaoping'an safer. I don't know if it was because of the decoction or because the knot in his heart was untied, but Cao's slightly pale face before almost showed a trace of rosy color again in almost a moment. Ahem, Xiaoping'an is young and handsome. Once he emerges from the world of god-killing insects, he will at least be a strong man in the 7 Sun realm and the 8 Sun realm. He can fight against the blood demon sect alone and has the support of a strong demigod. He will definitely famous all over the world. Baitang Wangchuan glanced at Cao quietly and said with a serious face, ahem, I don't know how many women would like to pursue such a strong man, and I don't know how many snobbery would win over him. Although our big business country strong, but not unique. When the time comes, if you turn into a dry, yellow-faced woman standing in front of him, do you think he will still like you? As a brother, I will help you even if I want to. No way. This last sentence was truly fatal to the woman. Cao's face suddenly became tense. She quickly touched her face and then her hair. She let out a scream instantly, then turned around and pounced on him. He quickly looked in the mirror in front of the dressing table. When Baitang Wangchuan walked out of Rangzhou Palace again, Rangzhou Palace was already buzzing with energy and vitality was restored again. Princess Wanja needs to wash up, put on makeup, eat, arrange flowers, ride horses, practice swordsmanship, dance, and invite a few good friends into the palace. The maids and nuns in Rangzhou Palace were busy again, but all of them had smiles on their faces, as if they were relieved. Baitang Wangchuan returned to the imperial study room to resume his life. Baitang Zhao stood in the imperial study with his hands behind his back. He waited until Baitang Wangchuan entered the imperial study, then Baitang Zhao suddenly turned around and said, how about care? Baitang Zhao had a look of concern on his face. For some things, it is more effective for Baitang Wangchuan to take action than for him, the father, to take action. Baitang Wangchuan talked about what he saw when he left Rangzhiagang, and Baitang Zhao finally let out a long breath. Father, do you think Zhumotion will enter the world of god-killing insects? Baitang Wangchuan asked. Definitely, Baitang Zhao said firmly without even thinking. Why? Baitang Zhao's eyes flashed, you don't know, for a demigod, as long as he can become a god, even if there is only a 1 in 10,000 chance, he can do whatever it takes. What's more, with the demon god's order this time, Xiaoping'an entering the world of god-killing insects this time, he definitely grasped 7 inches of the blood demon sect at once, forcing Zhumotion and the blood demon sect to enter the world of god-killing insects together. Once Zhumotion and the masters of the blood demon sect entering the god-killing insect world, the bloody killing field of the god-killing insect world, even if Xiaoping'an does not take action, the blood demon sect will be destroyed by half. In the future, as a large number of experts from the blood demon sect enter the god-killing insect world, all continents will the blood demon sect will definitely shrink with all its strength and temporarily cease its activities. This is an opportunity for everyone who is eyeing the blood demon sect. What my father means is, Baitang Zhao's face turned cold, with murderous intent in his eyes, the blood demon sect has been tormenting me in the capital for long enough. As soon as Zhumotion enters the god-killing insect realm, we will destroy their Golden Moon Palace and settle the old and new accounts together. Many strong demigods from all continents, countries, and religions will take action. It is not that easy for Zhumotion to become a god. No demigod strongman wants to see Zhumotion become a god. What everyone wants to see is him beating a chicken with eggs. Once Zhumotion can make a blood sacrifice to Xiaoping'an and become a god, it will definitely not be good news for those national sects that have conflicts with the blood demon section. Even demigods who have nothing to do with the blood demon sect will not want to see Xuanhuan become a god. Therefore, everyone will definitely stop it, try every means to hold back the blood demon cult, and set up obstacles for the blood demon cult. This time, Xuanhuan's blood sacrifice to Yushan aroused public anger, but it was in vain. Behind the scenes, there were demigods preventing him from taking action. This is a contest between the powerful demigods. It involves the great cause of conferring gods and the division of forces in the entire Yuankai world. With the order of the demon god who dominates the demon god, this is no longer a matter for the blood demon sect and Xiaopingan alone. What matters to everyone is that one move affects the whole body. In the past 2 months, news of Xiaopingan's whereabouts has appeared in the Great Shang Kingdom and in many places on all continents. Some of those Xiaopingan were arranged by the Great Shang Kingdom and by Tang Wangchuan, and some were not. This already explains the problem. The battle between the demigods shocked by Tang Wangchuan. He did not expect that Xiaopingan's move would actually involve the changes in the entire Yuankai's situation. The Demon Gate garrisons in various places must be strengthened, and the Great Shang Kingdom must seize the time to fully prepare for war. I leave this matter to you. The demon god's order seems to be just for Xiaopingan, but in history, every time the demon god's order comes out, there will be great chaos. In the war with the enemy, some people will become gods, and some demigods will definitely fall, so we have to be careful. Baitang Zhao told Baitang Wangchuan. Yes. Baitang Zhao's eyes suddenly looked into the distance and whispered to himself, I'm afraid Xuanhuan is not the only demigod who will enter the god-killing insect realm this time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 379. At the same time, deep in the endless grassland north of Yushan. Blue sky, white clouds, grass. Herds of bison are galloping on the grassland, and eagles are soaring in the sky. Everything is picturesque. But this scenery was quickly broken by 3 black spots that cut across the sky. 3 summoners wearing the ghost masks of the blood demon cult flew over the grassland in panic. One of them was injured and had a broken arm. Blood was still falling from the wound of the broken arm, but at this time, and don't care about that much. The other 2 summoners of the blood demon cult were in ragged clothes and looked very embarrassed. The 3 summoners fled while vomiting blood. The 3 summoners looked at the sky behind them in horror as they flew, as if something terrible was chasing them. Suddenly, a summoner from the blood demon cult screamed in horror. A group of snow-white clouds in the sky just in front of these 3 summoners of the blood demon cult suddenly turned into the heads of 3 demon wolves growing together in the sky. The 3 demon wolf heads opened their eyes. He was staring at them with his cold golden eyes. His eyes were cold, ruthless, powerful, and bloody. Wolf King, our leader will not let you go. A summoner shouted in horror and anger. The other 2 summoners had already shot directly at the cloud that turned into a wolf head. Flames in the sky. The pale bone dragon. The sky is filled with ice picks. The roaring giant. There was also a blood cloud that rolled and corroded everything and instantly appeared in this peaceful sky. Several masters of the blood demon sect have tried their best, but with a hint of despair. The 3 wolf heads turned into white clouds in the sky, opened their mouths and swallowed up all the attacks. Then the 3 wolf heads rushed towards them. Amidst the desperate roars of the 3 summoners of the blood demon sect, one wolf head swallowed one, swallowing 3 masters of the blood demon cult in the blink of an eye. The 3 summoners of the blood demon cult just disappeared. The 3 wolf heads turned from white to blood red, and then with a bang, the white clouds dissipated, and a demon wolf with 3 golden wolf heads, each wearing a crown of the demon wolf clan, appeared in the sky, staring into the distance. The demon wolf was tall, almost 3 meters tall, wearing a black cloak, and his body was like an iron tower. The 3 ferocious wolf heads were chewing something in their mouths, and blood foam was constantly overflowing from the corners of the wolf heads' mouths. This demon wolf had a terrifying aura surging around it, almost as much as the emotion. After chewing for a while, the 3 wolf heads opened their mouths and spit out some broken human bones, deformed and damaged clothes, etc., directly onto the ground. The emotion made a blood sacrifice to Yushan City and killed so many descendants of my demon wolf clan. You actually dare to come to my territory to find people. I will eat you today with just a little interest first. Ah, I haven't tasted the deliciousness of human flesh for a long time. The Wolf King of the Jinyueshu demonic wolf clan sighed with emotion in the sky. In the blink of an eye, on the way the 3 blood demon sect mages escaped, a black cloud swept over them. Within the black cloud were all mages of the demon wolf clan, hundreds of them, each with murderous intent. The group of blood demon cult masters that entered the northern grasslands had been completely wiped out. The 3 disgusting things on the ground were the last remaining remains of that group of blood demon cult masters. At this moment, in the sky, a golden-winged bird was as fast as lightning, like a ray of golden light, flying from a distance, piercing the clouds, and suddenly got into the ear of the Wolf King. The eyes of the Wolf King, who had just swallowed 3 blood demon sect summoners alive, closed for a moment, and then opened them a few seconds later. His cold golden eyes had become a little restless, and the divine light flashed. The world of the god-killing insects is interesting. The emotion, do you think that the opportunity to become a god brought by the demonic god's order is yours alone? The Wolf King muttered to himself, squinting his head to see. Looking to the south of the grassland, with an unknown fear in his eyes, he turned his head to look at the magic wolf mages behind him, waved his hands gently, and said, I want to go to the god-killing insect realm. All things in Lang Yuan will be left to you, and wait for my return. After saying this, the Wolf King's figure suddenly disappeared, except for a white cloud in the sky, which turned into a giant wolf. He spread out his 4 legs and started running across the sky on other clouds, one step at a time. Just 100 miles away, white clouds flew by underfoot, and the giant white cloud wolf disappeared from the sight of those magic wolf mages in the blink of an eye. Among the vast mountains to the south of Yushan, an active volcano is still spewing thick smoke, and red magma is constantly flowing out of the crater. The leader of the Snake Man clan, the leader of the Tauren clan, the leader of the Rabbit Man clan, almost all the prominent figures of the Orc clan were kneeling under the crater, praying for something. Suddenly, the earth shook, and the magma in the crater rolled and poured out of the crater 10 times faster than before. In the lava of the volcano, a giant ape with a height of 100 feet slowly stood up from the crater. The lava flowed down from the giant ape. The giant ape was wearing a golden dress. The armor was unscathed in the magma, just like taking a bath in a hot spring. All the prostrate orcs were staring with admiration at the giant ape standing up from the volcanic lava. This giant ape is the patron saint of the Orc clan. To the Orc clan, this giant ape is the real god of war. I already know that there are many casualties among the men in Yushan City. The giant ape spoke, and the sound of thunder echoed in the sky, and then the giant ape yawned. Just this one yawn, the strong wind blew the clothes of the orcs kneeling on the ground and rattled. Then the giant ape reached out and pulled out a terrifying metal rod that was 100 feet long from the boiling magma. He carried it on his shoulder carelessly and grinned, revealing his ferocious fangs. The blood demon called, right? I'm going to crush his blood demon palace right now. After saying this, the giant ape flew up from the volcano with a somersault and disappeared instantly. The magma in the crater surged and splashed more than 100 meters high, and there was still a violent tremor on the ground. A group of kneeling orc chiefs and leading figures looked at each other in confusion. They didn't say they wanted to destroy the blood demon palace just now. Why was this leader so excited? Just an hour later, the blood demon palace appeared at the feet of the giant ape. The giant ape stood on the clouds, looking at the splendid palace floating in the void under his feet, in the clouds and fog. He grinned, and without saying a word, he swung the terrifying giant stick on his body like a shooting star. At a terrifying speed of hundreds of times the speed of sound, he rushed towards the Blood Demon Palace. When he approached the Blood Demon Palace, a giant stick of 100 feet was blasted out. Boom! With one strike, it was like a volley of thousands of thunders. The sea of clouds within 1,000 miles in the sky were suddenly swept away by a terrifying shock wave. The terrifying shock wave rushed down from the sky, and the sea of blood rolled on the ground. The earth cracked, and hundreds of peaks turned into powder with a buzzing sound. The palace protecting formation of the Blood Demon Palace was activated, enveloping the huge palace complex floating in the void in a blood-colored light shield. But this stick is too strong. Just the combination of speed and strength brings unreasonable tyranny, destroying everything with simplicity. The palace protection formation of the Blood Demon Palace withstood the blow, but the shock was inevitably transmitted to the Blood Demon Palace. With just one blow, all the remaining members of the Blood Demon cult in the entire Blood Demon Palace were. I just felt a buzzing in my head, and was shocked to the point where my orifices were bleeding, and I screamed and fell to the ground. The protective formation of the Blood Demon Palace suddenly showed cracks, and countless flames and lightning shot out from the formation, trying to refine the giant ape, but those flames and lightning were like scratching an itch for the giant ape. Same. Boom. A few seconds later, the second stick came down, and the entire Blood Demon Palace's protective formation, which could resist the arrival of the powerful demigod from the kingdom of God, was completely shattered. High-rise buildings, those ingenious towers and pavilions, were suddenly razed to the ground. Who dares to break into my Blood Demon Palace? 2 8-Sun Realm protectors from the Blood Demon sect who were stationed in the Blood Demon Palace flew out of the palace and roared in the sky. From the first attack to now, they haven't reacted because it was too fast. However, soon, they could no longer roar. In their eyes, the last image they saw in this world was a giant ape wearing golden armor, falling from the sky, turning into a golden light and rushing towards him again. He swung a 100-foot-long giant stick at the Blood Demon Palace. There are no bells and whistles, no tricks, just a stick. Unparalleled power. Split the sky and smash the sea. With the blow of the stick, the void shook, and it was felt within thousands of miles. Just a flash of light in the sky, and the palaces of the Blood Demon Palace floating in the sky, and the remaining members of the Blood Demon sect in the Blood Demon Palace, the Blood Demon cult protectors in the 8-Sun realm, together with their space equipment and the contents of the space equipment, were all turned into powder in the terrifying shock waves and concussions. They died happily, leaving no residue behind. Those who bully our beast tribe will die. Xuanhuan, I will come to find you right away. The 3 sticks destroyed the Blood Demon Palace and destroyed the Blood Demon cult's lair. The giant ape roared wildly in the sky, the situation changed color, and then disappeared again with a tendon. The moment the Blood Demon Palace was destroyed by the giant ape's 3rd stick. Xuanhuan's face suddenly changed as he was flying across the vast sea like a stream of light. His originally normal complexion suddenly turned into a light golden color, and then a mouthful of blood spurted out. There are altars and secret treasures in the Blood Demon Palace where Xuanhuan's soul resides. If the Blood Demon Palace is destroyed, the altar and secret treasures where Xuanhuan's soul resides will also be destroyed. For Xuanhuan, this is no more than cutting him with a knife. After several kilograms of bloody meat came down, his vitality was already weakened. At the same time, the image of the giant ape destroying the entire Blood Demon Palace with 3 sticks appeared in Xuanhuan's mind, as well as the giant ape's final roar. That demon ape hasn't been seen for hundreds of years. When did it become so powerful? Golden Summoner. Author, Xuanhuan. Chapter 380. Leader. Xuanhuan vomited blood and stagnated in the air. The large number of masters from the Blood Demon sect who were carried flying by Xuanhuan using secret techniques were shocked and immediately surrounded him. There are so many masters following Xuanhuan, including palace masters, protectors, altar masters from various states of the Blood Demon sect, etc. They are all masters of the 6 Yang realm and above, with a total of no less than several thousand people. It can be said that the Blood Demon sect has most of the elite are here. The master of the Golden Moon Palace was also among them. Ever since he knew that Xiaoping'an had entered the world of god-killing insects, Xuanhuan had made arrangements. The Blood Demon cult's members below the 5 Yang realm on all continents were left to temporarily cease their activities, recuperate, and completely go underground, while the Blood Demon cult and those above the 6 Yang realm were left behind. The masters and strong men are divided into 2 groups, one group will follow him into the god-killing insect realm, and the other group will change his appearance, bring his face mirror, and stay at the entrance to the secret passage of the 2 god-killing insect realms. Prevent Xiaoping'an from turning around and slipping out of the god-killing insect realm again. As a powerful demigod, Xuanhuan can be very sure that Xiaoping'an went to the god-killing insect realm. This is an indescribable induction of wish power. Before Xiaoping'an entered the god-killing insect realm, even if Xiaoping'an could not be found, Xuanhuan could still feel that Xiaoping'an was somewhere in Yuankai due to the strong will of the demigod, and Xiaoping'an was there. Entering the world of the god-killing insects, his willpower suddenly lost touch with Xiaoping'an, like a kite that had its string broken, and suddenly became chaotic. Among all the secret realms of the void, only the world of god-killing insects can block the willpower induction of the powerful demigods. I'm fine. Xuanhuan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with a stern look on his face and did not explain the reason at all. Leader, more than 20 of my life pearls have been broken on the road just now. These life pearls are all sent to the territory of the Demon Wolf clan in the north of Yushan to look for Xiaoping'an. Seeing Xuanhuan stopped, and the master of Jinyu Palace, Ling Huo, flashed in the air, came to Xuanhuan, and reported, while quietly looking at Xuanhuan's face. In the blink of an eye, Xuanhuan's expression returned to normal. The Demon Wolf clan. The expression on Xuanhuan's face became even colder, and he suddenly returned to indifference, as if this was just an insignificant matter. I understand, I will settle the score with the Demon Wolf in the future, let's go. Xuanhuan didn't say much, waved his sleeves and continued to lead everyone towards the chaotic ice field. Here, it is not too far away from the chaos ice field. Xuanhuan knew that this was the price of the blood sacrifice to Yushan. There is a reason why Yushan city can survive alone among several major forces. Among the Demon Wolf clan in the north of Yushan Mountain, the Wolf King is a powerful demigod. The backing of the orcs in the south of Yushan is the demon ape that just destroyed the Blood Demon Palace. The demon ape is also a strong man in the demigod realm and has a great reputation. On that day, he made a blood sacrifice to Yushan. The demonic wolf clan and the orcs clan who occupied Yushan suffered heavy losses. It would be abnormal if the Wolf King and demonic ape did not retaliate. However, that day he discovered Xiaoping'an's whereabouts in Yushan, and the opportunity to become a god was right in front of him. Even though he knew that the blood sacrifice to Yushan would have consequences, he still had to give it a try. Once Xiaoping'an was sacrificed by him, he would be able to become a god. Then the Wolf King and the Demon Ape naturally don't have to worry anymore. As for the death of some people and the destruction of millions of demon wolves and orcs, so what? The only thing Xuanhuan didn't expect was that the Demon Ape hadn't come out for hundreds of years. This time, the 3 sticks destroyed his Blood Demon Palace. It seemed that its ability had grown a little longer, and it was even more powerful than before. That demonic ape is like a madman. He does things without caring about the consequences. He is moody and can be both good and evil. Among the demigods, he is the most difficult to deal with and makes people a headache. If he is entangled with that demonic ape this time, it may be difficult to be good. As for the Wolf King, he was equally ambitious. The Wolf King launched an attack just because he wanted to use the excuse of Yushan City being sacrificed by his blood to compete with him for Xiaoping'an. Few demigods can resist the temptation of becoming a god. The Blood Demon Palace is one of the foundations of the Blood Demon section. Its destruction this time has a great impact on the Blood Demon section. However, under the Demon God's order, a Blood Demon Palace is nothing. As long as it can be conferred as a god, the loss of 100 a Blood Demon Palace, even if the entire Blood Demon sect has to pay for it, is still worth it. Xuanhuan can sacrifice everything. 3 days later, the chaotic ice field appeared in front of Xuanhuan and his party. The entrance to the huge god-killing insect world above the chaotic ice field was like a huge storm center, slowly rotating, with lightning and thunder. The Zumo weather was so powerful that when he came to the chaos ice field, he immediately released his aura. A blood cloud covered the sky and blocked out the sun, with overwhelming power. After the blood cloud, the auras of a large number of powerful people from the 6 Yang realm to the 9 Yang realm rose into the sky. That battle, crushing everything, killing gods and destroying countries, seemed not to be there. Next words. The summoners who were near the entrance to the chaotic ice field and the secret realm felt the aura, and their faces changed drastically. They hurriedly avoided it and only dared to watch from a distance. Many people already understand what's going on. The blood demon cult is really here. But just when Xuanhuan and others arrived, ripples rippled in the void in front of Xuanhuan and below the entrance to the god-killing insect realm, and a carriage slowly drove out of the ripples in the void. Standing in front of Xuanhuan and most of the elite members of the blood demon sect. The carriage door opened, and Mr. Jing calmly stepped out of the carriage and looked at Xuanhuan calmly. A flash of light flashed in Jing Lao's eyes, and a pair of huge golden wings instantly unfolded from behind him, stretching thousands of miles in the air, covering most of the sky, and instantly blocked Xuanhuan's blood cloud. The golden wings spread out, and all the beasts in the chaotic ice field surrendered. All the monsters in the sea were as silent as cicadas. The aura of the powerful demigod suddenly came over, and Jing Lao's whole body was covered in a layer of golden light. Everyone on the chaos icefield was shocked. They didn't expect another powerful demigod to appear. Everyone was shocked when they looked at the pair of golden wings stretching thousands of miles behind Mr. Jing. A name that was well known in Zhuz who appeared in everyone's hearts, but no one dared to call it out. When Xuanhuan saw Jing Lao, his eyes shrank sharply. Why, does King Peng also want to go against my blood demon sect? We at Pengwang Auction House only do business and don't care about the disputes in the world. Jing Lao's voice echoed throughout the void, but Pengwang Auction House will not let others bully us. Who wants to go against Pengwang Auction House, then who will I go against? In Yushan City, the men of the Lord of the Golden Moon Palace of the Blood Demon sect first broke into our Pengking Auction House to search without mercy. When everyone in our Pengking Auction House evacuated, they made things difficult for no reason. You blood sacrifice Yushan, let me burn King Peng's auction house in Yushan City to the ground. Xuanhuan, you have to give me an explanation. Xuanhuan was silent for a while. What does King Peng want from me, the blood demon sect? All parties involved in the Yushan matter will naturally come to you to explain, and there is no need for me to step in. For our King Peng auction house, as long as no one is killed, it can be solved with money. Your blood demon sect is rich and powerful. Our Pengwang auction house's losses in Yushan will be settled with 500 million gold coins. What do you think? 500 million gold coins. Everyone in the Chaos Icefield was shocked. How much is that? Some people count on their fingers, but they can't even do it all at once. Even selling the entire Yushan wouldn't be worth 500 million gold coins, right? The loss of a Pengwang auction house, before anyone died, is worth 500 million? The master of the Golden Moon Palace, Lingwea Palace, changed his expression when he heard this number. Demigods may not care about gold coins, but to people in the world, the meaning of gold coins is really omnipotent. The gold coins spilled out, everything can be summoned, and 500 million gold coins is not a small number even for the Great Shang Kingdom. Not to mention anything else, the entire Golden Moon Palace cannot afford 500 million gold coins. How can a small Yushan Penguang auction house be worth 500 million gold coins? Ling Guo, the master of the Golden Moon Palace, couldn't help but speak. Jing Lao smiled and glanced at Ling Guo, the master of the Golden Moon Palace. There are countless treasures in the auction house that have not been transferred yet. If I say they are worth it, they are worth it. Also, kid, what you just said is worth 500 million gold coins in my opinion. So now, 1 billion gold coins. Jing Lao smiled, but his aura was so domineering that it made everyone in the Blood Demon sect change their expressions. The Blood Demon sect's demonic flames are so strong that they have never been blackmailed like this before. Xuanhuan's face suddenly darkened, and the vertical eyes between his eyebrows suddenly opened, blood red. He raised his hand, and all the masters of the Blood Demon sect behind him shut up. No one spoke anymore. Xuanhuan's that vertical eye swept across the golden wings that stretched thousands of miles behind Jing Lao. What if I don't agree? The wings behind Jing Lao flapped slightly, and the situation suddenly changed. The two wings closed slightly, covering the entrance to the god-killing insect realm in the sky. Then I will see you here today. How powerful is the coming of the kingdom of God? By the way, that demon ape just destroyed your Blood Demon Palace and is now rushing here. It is estimated that it will arrive soon. The demon ape is crazy now and will not recognize its relatives. When the time comes, he killed all of your disciples and grandsons with one blow. Don't say that it was me and that demon ape who were working together to bully you. Your ancestor Motion demolished my Yushan auction house. It can't be in vain, right? The demolition fee plus mental damage fee, 1 billion gold coins. I don't think it's much. What do you think? Xuanhuan was silent for a moment and suddenly asked, were you the one who took Xiaopingan away from my barrier in Yushan City? Mr. Jing smiled slightly, with a playful and cunning look on his face. He neither admitted nor denied, but smiled. Haha, do you want to pry into the realm of my secret method of space? This question is also worth 1 billion. You pay the gold coins, and I'll tell you that you are a good boy, but I think there are probably a lot of people who don't want to see you become a god. Xuanhuan stared at Mr. Jing for a few times and stopped talking. With a wave of his hand, several rays of light flew towards Mr. Jing. When Mr. Jing flicked his sleeves, those rays of light were collected in his sleeves. This is a deed for more than a dozen gold mines and 2 cities in 9 continents. It should be enough for 1 billion gold coins. The matter about Yushan, let's forget it. There are still many in Penguang auction house. Next time you come to dismantle it, I will give you the Blood Demon sect a discount. Jing Lao smiled, retracted his sky-covering wings, and went up. He got out of the carriage and drove into the ripples of the void, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Xuanhuan's face became more and more gloomy, but he said nothing. With a wave of his hand, he led the Blood Demon cult people behind him into a blood cloud and disappeared into the secret passage of the god-killing insect realm, disappearing in the blink of an eye. Less than half a day after Xuanhuan left, a giant ape fell from the sky, roared, turned into a golden light, and disappeared into the secret passage of the god-killing insect realm. Half a day later, a giant wolf transformed from white clouds in the sky also rushed towards him and entered the passage. In the next half-month, all kinds of characters came one after another and entered the space passage of the god-killing insect realm. The number of people entering was several times higher than usual. Chapter 2 will be updated tonight.